What is up, Scentsy fans? It's Patricia, and welcome to another week of Tester Tuesday. This week we have a special week because I am reviewing the 5 scents from the Destinations collection. This collection released a little bit ago, but I decided to get the collection via the scent sample cups. I call them pucks in the whiff box, and warm them that way, and then decide from there if I wanted to put any in my Scentsy club. Because when this collection released, it released as a 5-pack collection. It's inspired by the Mediterranean feel of relaxation. And Canadian, the 5-pack is $33, and in the US it's $25. Every scent is available in flower, pods, and room spray, I believe. And then as we go, I'll let you know if anything's available other than that in other products, if I can remember. Now, I will let you know that the scent cups that you get in the whiff box are equivalent to approximately 2.5 cubes. So what I did was I warmed them in the boys' room, and I cut off 2 cubes from the scent cup equivalent by weight and put that in a full-size warmer, and then roughly the other half a cube in a mini warmer. And I did it in the boys' room, all 5 scents, so I can get a uniform consistent approach to how the scents perform. That room performs very well, so if a scent does not perform well there, then it's usually a dud. So keep in mind, whatever scent out of 10 that was in the boys' room, it would be less elsewhere in my apartment. So that is something to consider. If you have any questions or specifics, please put them down in the comments below. I'll make sure I answer them. Let's get started. All right, let's talk about our first scent for the week. It is Santorini Blossoms. This was in the floral section. The scent description says, Island Palm shades tiare flower and cool coconut water from warm amber. This was so lovely. I really enjoyed this scent. I actually also had it in scent circles, and I'll tell you a story here about that in a second. So primarily for me, in the boys' room, it was a medium throw or medium light, and I left it going one day there and then transferred it to my bedroom. So I left it going 2 days. On the second day, it was about 4 out of 10. So what did I get out of it? Well, it smelled a little bit like a coconut infused sweet vanilla fruit scent. The amber that's there, it's an innocent style amber, not a heavy, dirty, as Ramona says, amber. Really nice, innocent, almost like a white amber. And I think what it was is there was a PEI trip that I went on when I was about 14. I did a project on an entrepreneur. Now, when I went to PEI, I actually ran into the entrepreneur selling her products. So I went up and told her about it, and she was so excited. She gave me some products, and something about the smell of her booth or something reminded me of Santorini Blossoms, or they reminded me of one another. So I do have a note that some people might find the coconut that's in here, the coconut water, as a waxy or plastic undertone, but for some reason, I really enjoy the way everything comes together. More so in the scent circle. I really enjoyed the scent circle. So I actually gave my coworker an Amazon Rain scent circle right around the same time I put this one in. And she got in the car and said, wow, your car smells really nice. And I said, I know. And I said, I was contemplating giving you one of these, but I gave you Amazon Rain because I knew you like it. And I said, now I'm kind of glad I didn't give you this because I really enjoy it and I get to have 2 more for myself. Now, sadly, they don't sell the scent circles as a product. It was in the whiff box, but if I did come across the scent circles again, I would definitely pick them up. In wax, I'm not sure if I will. I really enjoyed it, but where it wasn't overly strong, I don't know. I think I will stick to the scent circles, but I actually did also pick it up in pods and room spray. And if you like the scent Italian Sunshine, this is a more youthful, innocent, feminine version of that. I think if you like that one and you like the modifications, then maybe pick this one up in club and give it a try. Yeah, really liked it. I did ask my husband what he thought of all the scents, and he said for this one that it smelled like a gentle Kool-Aid, and he gave it 7 out of 10. So for me, Santorini Blossoms was my favorite of the collection. All right, let's talk about our second scent for the collection. It is Sorento Breeze, and this one is in the fresh category. I would describe this almost like a fresh floral perfume. So let's read the description. It says cucumber flower and wild daisy drift above bamboo waters. So there is a little bit of a sharp tone, and maybe that's the bamboo waters, but I have a note that it was between 7 and 8 in the boys' bedroom. I left it going 2 days, but the problem was when it first started, it did not smell like the scent notes. It smelled like beer. I felt like instead of Sorento Breeze, it was Sorento beer. Almost like you're walking along a boardwalk and there's a bar. And then once you pass that, after a few hours, thank goodness it went away, then you kind of run across like a hair salon, a spa, a perfume shop, all those things kind of mingling together, and that's kind of what I get. So I'm not really sure if I get the coconut flower or the wild daisy, but something is very strong and perfumey in here. Yeah, so I have a note here, smells like a perfume store, not a repurchase, best for medium spaces and bedrooms. My husband said no, he didn't like it at 5 out of 10. And I believe this is not available in anything else in the collection, just the basic products. Yeah, I think it's just the basic things for this one. Hopefully I did not forget. But yeah, this one I didn't really care for so much. It was too perfumey, and the weird beer part at the beginning was kind of a turnoff. All right, let's talk about our third scent for the week. It is Sun-Drenched Cotton. I'll read you the scent description. It says, clean cotton, sweetened with creamy coconut, bask in notes of white woods. And they put this in the fresh category. I would call it like a clean woodsy. And on cold sniff, it was just okay for me, but I thought I smelled a citrus, like a yuzu. And once I warmed it, I felt like at the beginning it might have been a white grapefruit. Something like a nectar and white grapefruit was in here. So I have a note. I could smell the cotton. I could smell the coconut. I thought I could smell grapefruit at the beginning. And I'm really not sure if all those scent notes were working together for me. There's something about it that they weren't melding. So on day 1, it was about 7 out of 10. On day 2, it was a bit lighter, and I enjoyed the presentation better on day 2. I don't know if it presents overly laundry, as it presents kind of more of an innocent, woodsy, smooth scent with maybe a tiny bit of citrus. But this one would not be a repurchase for me. It was in the whiff box as Scentsy swipes, and I have been using those, and they do smell nice that way. So when my husband smelled this one, he said, yuck, smells like flowers, and gave it 6 out of 10. I did tell him there were no flowers in the scent description, but there was something called white woods, so perhaps that's what he was smelling. I'm not really sure. So yes, not really one that I disliked or liked, which is in the middle for me, but I will enjoy the swipes, and that is Sun-Drenched Cotton. All right, let's talk about the fourth scent from the collection. It is Sunset Cocktail. This was in the fruity category, and I would say it's an edible tropical fruity scent. So let's read the description. It says, mango nectar and passion fruit. Add a bright, sweet sip to smooth coconut milk. So I really like this one on cold sniff, and I do like it warm, but it is mango and passion fruit heavy for me. I don't get a lot of the coconut milk. So let me just read from my notes. And because I did my Tester Tuesday different this week, I feel like I'm a little out of sorts, so I'm going to apologize. So I put this in the boys' room. I said it was 7 to 8 at its max. I did leave it only one day. This was the only scent that I took out after one day. I have a note. It's tangy and juicy. I got a lot of mango. I felt like there was a little bit of a syrupy orange. And I could definitely smell passion fruit. And the passion fruit, something about the passion fruit made me think of Camu Camu. I did not get much coconut milk. I know some people say they have gotten the coconut milk. I did not get a lot. And around 11 p.m., so I put it in at 9 a.m. And around 11 p.m., I went to put the blanket on Drew, and I could still smell it a little bit. And then in the morning, I couldn't smell it at all. So Ryan did have the windows open when I had that happen, but just to give you a heads up, this one doesn't last as long as the other ones. My husband smelled this one. He doesn't look at the names, by the way. He just smells them, and this is what he said. Smells like alcohol. Smells like a cooler drink, like a cooler. And I said, well, what do you think of it? He goes, not for me. He loves alcohol. He just doesn't love coolers. So he said if I did like coolers, I would give it 7 out of 10. So he definitely picked up that it was a drink, and I told him what it was called, and he was pretty impressed at his ability. So that was Sunset Cocktail. Obviously, it does smell like an alcoholic drink, but I didn't get any alcohol. I just got the fruity drink part, not much coconut milk. So not a repurchase for me on that one. All right, so let's talk about our last scent from the collection. It is Wild Seaside. It's in the fresh category. I would classify this as an aquatic, masculine style fresh scent. So Scentsy says, blue lavender blooms over notes of ocean moss and white driftwood. So we have notes of blue lavender and ocean moss, white driftwood. So it does smell like a strong masculine scent. I would say almost like an aquatic body wash style scent. It's strong, it's saturated, and it's a sexy man. So the 3 S's, what more could you want for? Now, personally, I realized when I warmed this scent, I'm like, I like the scent, but I think I would like it better on a man, coming off a man versus in home fragrance. So I think that's the big light bulb moment for me this week. Now, when I say man, I should say men, because it smells like there's a lot of men that just came out of the shower. Maybe there's a bridal party, and it's the groom's side of the party. They're all there. They're all at the rehearsal dinner, and they're smelling fresh and clean. And that's what I get because it's strong. You can smell it very easily. So I have a note here. That's at the start. It was probably between 9 and 10 out of 10. It was so strong. And at the start of day 2, it was between 7 and 8. Still very strong. And I wasn't home today, so I left it turned off. But I would easily say this is probably going to be like at least a 3-dayer. The aquatic reminds me of the typical Scentsy aquatic, which is a little strong and sharp for me. I have a note in brackets like the aquatic note that you get from Make Waves, I think DC Justice League, those kind of aquatic scents. And there is a little bit of a green floral undertone. So that's what I got. My husband said, whoa, this is strong. It's not for me, he said. It's too posh. He said it's too something. He didn't know. And I said, well, what would you give it? He said maybe 5 out of 10. So 5 out of 10 is usually as low as he probably goes. So this one is not a repurchase, but if you like strong, masculine, easy to smell scents that you want to be able to notice as soon as you walk into your place, then Wild Seaside is the one for you. All right, so yes, the Destinations collection. One thing I would say is I think it's overall a pretty good collection. No extreme winners for me or losers. They're all fairly good, but nothing great, nothing that I need to repurchase. But I'm happy to be able to have tried them because I always have the fear of missing out. So it was good to try them, good to give you some feedback. None of them were extremely light, and Wild Seaside was extremely strong, but I was also warming it in a room that is typically a good performing room. So I think that one would do well in an open concept space. For longevity, the only one that was on the lighter side in terms of longevity was the Sunset Cocktail. So what we're going to do today is we are going to transition into the portion of the video where I'm going to present to you some scents and you guys are going to vote. So if you're new to my channel, please pick 2 different scents by early Wednesday morning. Put your votes down in the YouTube comment section. And if you can't do that, you can find me on Instagram. It's Patricia Gates, and put your 2 votes there. All right, so I only have 3 scents to present to you, and we'll do the other 3 with the wheel. So I did order my Bring Back My Bar set on June 1st, and it still hasn't even gone to printed status. So hopefully we will get that before they launch in July. Sometimes the early access is not so early. Anyway, so scent number 1 is, I'm just going to call it S Desert Rain, but you can type it out if you want. It's that word that I can never spell. So scent number 2 is from the Father's Day collection. It is Vanilla Oak. Scent number 3 is one of the Bring Back My Bar scents that ironically I don't have a review on, but I have a whole bunch of the wax, and it is Red Pear and Pomegranate. And we'll break off and we will see what the wheel brings us. Okay, so here we are with the wheel of names. I have 24 scents here. I will shuffle, then we will spin, and we will pick scents 4 through 6 this way. So scent number 4 is going to be from the Mental Health Awareness, Blue Lavender and Bergamot. We'll remove this. I will shuffle, and I will spin. Hopefully I shuffled because I didn't notice, but scent number 5 for the week is Newborn Nursery. That's a current scent. We'll remove. I will shuffle, and then I will spin. And scent number 6 for the week, what do we have? Vanna. Scent number 6, so it's kind of glitching there, is going to be the scent Blue from Chase Rainbows, which ironically has a yellow background. So, gotta love the wheel. All right, thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little bit of a mini Tester Tuesday, a condensed review. So if you did like it, give me a thumbs up. Take care. Don't forget to vote, and I will see you guys in the next video.